Hello everyone, welcome to another weekly market review. It is the 28th of June 2021. The crypto market, especially Bitcoin, is still within a range. Altcoins are looking weak and triple witching brought about a surprise. Let's have a look. So here's the total market cap chart on the weekly time frame. I'm going to look at the weekly close right here. Okay, so guys, the weekly closed right below support. Even though we got that big spike, the weekly close was looking significantly bearish. We got that big spike right at the end of the week, but unfortunately, according to at least TradingView calculations, this has on a closing basis broken below support. You remember last week what happened? Let's go to the 3-day. 3-day has a very clear picture, guys. What happened starting of last week? We had support on the 3-day time frame. We closed right below support. So this 3-day block, it had been holding on a closing basis. Price started to close below this. So that's how I told you we have a hint of which direction price has to go. So it seems like it may be a coincidence or not, but the weekly has shown us a similar picture. But outside of that, it's a very clear picture and a very clean picture on the total market cap chart. We had a 3-day close well below support, and we have found support at a significant level. Confluence of these highs along with the anchored VWAP all the way from the March lows. So significant, guys, this anchored VWAP. So price is basically holding from this entire run. There's so much value. This eventually, whenever this market is bottoming out, it's going to be such a great opportunity, and I'm glad we're going to be here together trying to catch this. So anyway, for now we have broken below support and prices coming back up to trade towards it. Let's look at the 4-hour. So the 4-hour play paints quite a clear picture. This is a significant resistance for now. Whatever held as support, this is the significant resistance. So what should be the game plan? The game plan should be, this is where we took the longs, across the market. They are significantly up for now. Some of the alts are up, 15 to 20%. Bitcoin is also up at least more than 10%, 10 to 12%. So very good trade, that one. Currently in profit, and so right now I'm not looking to take profit on that. So I'm gonna just be moving stops up and managing it. The game plan should be to look for a reaction here. I'd say if price is too bearish, then what we should get is this double bottom structure, very clean. We should get a failure of that, and if that happens, you can manage your risk from this level right here. If price is too bearish. If it is even more bearish, we get a breakdown, then you'd have to wait for price to give a confirmation down here and manage risk either from these highs up here. You would have to manage risk from these highs up here. This becomes a more complex setup. And what I would say is the bullish setup. What is the bullish setup that we'd be looking for? Is for price to start holding up here. I would say this would still be neutral, but we'd have to look at on a case by case basis what happens to Bitcoin. That would be significant. So we get a 786 rejection here. It's still not clearly bullish, but we start to hold support above the previous weekly open, or we reclaiming this support, then we can start making a bullish case for potential continuation. A confirmation only once we break monthly open. We just have 2 days of this month left. So for me right now, it's not such a high probability scenario, and this month would likely close red. So, but again, like a clean bullish case. Look at this resistance, long range 31 days. You start to find support up here break this resistance, you can really start looking for that move up. But seasonality suggests, price generally does not end up doing that at this time of the year. So I would say that even if prices to get really bullish, we should start confirming this as a range, and price starts building out a range in July if it has to do that. So the bullish case right now is pretty significantly far away, guys. We can start to get neutral if price reclaims this previous resistance as support. We can start to get neutral, but for now, the clearest and cleanest cases in this very clean chart. And what I'd say is, if Bitcoin's chart looked like this, guys, I do not think, even how emotional crypto Twitter is, I don't think they can get bullish with a chart that looks like this. It's just a clean break of support coming up to test as resistance. There's no two other things about it as of now. But nobody's taking the weakness in altcoins into consideration, because people love hopium, so they are stuck to their Bitcoin chart and projecting, yes, support is held, yearly open is held again, and we're still in that range. But a lot of times this is the chart to be looking for, because odds are significant as well. So these are our cases. These are the three bearish cases. Just a spike above or a breakdown from here, or we come into the resistance zone and start to show weakness over there. We have a case for a neutral case where we start to find support again, and the bull case right now still far away, but we do have it. So this is our reactive cases, and the cleanest and clearest case I can build for you for the market currently. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. We've held the weekly support that's been holding all week. The last month and a half. So prices held this on the weekly time frame. Last week we got a bearish engulfing. We have what is potentially a bullish candle. It's not exactly a bullish candle until we see what happens this week. So what this shows is a bearish candle and potentially a bullish candle, not exactly bullish. Significant support holding, but also significant support breaking. So if we look at this weekly close is the lowest weekly close we've had all the way since January. So that is, again, what it reflects is neutral with a slightly bearish undertone. That's what this suggests. Again, this week will give us a very clear picture of what is to happen, because what we're getting is, it is a potential range, but if this range really has to hold as a range, then this week should again allow price to trade back up, because we have a bearish candle. This is right now a neutral candle. It is potentially bullish, but it is a neutral candle depending on what this week does. So Bitcoin again ranging, but very interesting how it's ranging. Look at the 3-day. This is 4 3-day candles in a row that were not so bullish, but for Bitcoin the 3-day level is what is held as of now. This is the 3-day block. It has held as support. Look at how many wicks we have down here, but again the last 3-day it did start losing. So this is bulls getting exhausted. Still supply, I guess this is the China supply, where even after such a big drawdown and so much demand, look at this big demand, it started to reduce, but we got another reaction, and this demand has started to exhaust. That's what this shows. Where there were wicks previously, now you can see a close. This is on a higher time frame, but still what we can see is that this lower level, anything below 32,000, has still been protected by the bulls, but it is a lot of retests. On this you can see how many retests can you see towards the resistance. We have 1 and 2. How many retests can you see towards the support? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the sixth one, look at it, there's VIX, and we have a candle close. So this is showing a bit of exhaustion just in terms of what is happening in the range. The bulls are getting exhausted, that demand is getting exhausted. What has to disprove it is what price does once we are going to move up from here. This is what's going to prove that yes, this is real and this is significant. Here you can see it again. Look at where we had support before, then look at where we had support. Now see where we have support. This is on a daily time frame. So I don't know, guys, I think it takes a lot of bias to be extremely bullish when the market is doing that, because what even this Bitcoin market, even though on a higher time frame or whatever time frame, it shows that we can potentially be in a range. It's showing a lot of sell pressure, and that buy pressure is getting more and more exhausted according to how price is closing. So what do we have in terms of the case that we're looking for Bitcoin? We have monthly open, which is well in line with the golden pocket over here. So I would say this is a key level. This 618, it is a key level. This is previous Monday. So for now I'll just remove these. Monday is high and Monday is low. And of course this is the previous weekly open. This is not currently the weekly open. So I'll shift this as well. So you can see, guys, you can have a lot of bias, and I don't see the bullish case yet. At best, this is neutral with the leaning towards bearish. Anybody saying otherwise, I don't know what they're seeing, because everything that I'm showing you, it is quite clear and it's very clean. Even on Bitcoin, total market cap chart, absolutely clean. Even on Bitcoin, it is very clean what is going on. So what I would say is, if price can move back up, because what has happened here is funding is getting quite extremely negative. So there is potential for a bit of a bigger squeeze here on the daily. You can see this very clean level. It's a pivot level right here, this 37,500-ish. So it lines up so well with the monthly open. So if we talk about resistance, I think this is where the real resistance is. If price can get up here, I would expect some aggressive selling to start coming in. So we have to see what happens. This is the most ideal case for me, that we can come up here, get that aggressive selling, and then move back down for an attack to prices below the yearly open. And still, guys, what we have to say is that this is significant that price has held up here for so long, but until the resolution of this entire structure comes, I don't see how people can just predict V bottoms and whatnot. I mean, I can't be predicting the lower prices until we get that clean break, but I can show you where the strength lies, who the incentive lies with, where the weakness lies. So this would be so attractive, if we can get to these levels, 24 to 22k, we can get to these levels. I mean, I would be so attracted to Bitcoin, it's so significant. Anyway, but we have to take it a level at a time. That is the ideal case. Where do we flip bullish? I don't see how we can flip bullish until we take this out. We could range here for so long, it's not even funny. This is a lot of repair, guys. This is going to take a lot of repair. So people are really getting ahead of themselves if they think that after moves like this, even if price is very bullish, we don't go sideways for another month or two. It would be really surprising and very uncharacteristic of markets if we're just to straight up move up from here. But the thing is that, why are you in a hurry, and why is everybody trying to guess? Allow it to resolve. Where it's confirmed, take it. And if it's not resolved, you'll see me being a buyer at lower prices. But over here, this just doesn't make sense, anything apart from a lower time frame. which we got. We got that perfect buy middle of at the end of this week. This is where I scaled in. This is where I guess if you guys have been trading this with me, you scaled in. So we're in a good place right now, and we're not needing to guess. It's been so methodical. This is where we were looking for downside. We got it. We've been playing this range really well, guys, and essentially this is what you should be studying. Just study my timeline, study how I've been calling the last month and a half, and this is the way to play a range. Look at it in terms of the fact that being bearish, we're still being able to catch range lows. This is when you're agnostic of lower time frames. I have a higher time frame bias, but while price is in a range, I'm going to play that range. And this could play out for another month or two. I'm not going to start being omega bull or omega bear. I'm going to play what is in front of me, and that is the only way to play the range. And the range is more about mindset than anything else. So you should know that. You have the right mindset. Of course, you need a strategy. This was the cleanest short that this entire range gave. You need that strategy to take that short. You need to know where you can compound it, where you can start to take profit. It's all very clean. So just know we are still there. We are still neutral, but the undertones are still bearish for Bitcoin. So we have to see what price can do. If it can give us another great risk adjusted short, I'll be very happy to take that, and then we'll see what the rest of the market can bring to us. Odds against BTC, this is what we've been looking at this entire while. The DeFi index on a weekly closing basis, you can see we have closed below support. So this does not look good, guys. This is reflecting that the cyclical nature of this market is still very much in play. So what does this show us? Look at it on the 3-day time frame as well. We have a close below daily as well. We're doing exactly what I thought was potentially possible. We break below support. Now we're finding resistance over there. So what is that? This is a long range, guys. Price has been here for a long time. Unless price is very tricky, which it was when we did break up from here. We were looking at potentially a move higher once we did break out of this range, but we just faked out, came back down, built this corrective structure, showed you another place where price can potentially confirm that downside. We got that downside, and now we are breaking below support, and we are holding below it. This is holding as resistance. That is why if BTC gets to that level, I'd be looking to short altcoins, because a lot of the alts are signifying setups such as this. This is a long and big range. Against BTC, 140 days price has held. DeFi against BTC, 140 days, and now we're breaking below that. So if we're going to be trading this down, I'd be looking for odds to catch this. Where's the next support level? The next support level is down here. I'm just going to roughly map it out. Here's the next support level. Would at least trade it to down here, but if this is just cyclical, then we should ideally get back down to the lows, but we'll take it level to level. So that would be my next play if Bitcoin gets to a level of resistance and we can trade that back down. Traditional markets, we've made new highs across the board, and essentially what we have is another potential statistic. When we're making new highs on the Nasdaq on weak breadth, this is what weak breadth is. Less than 50% of the members above 50 day, and less than 55% above the 200 day. So we have over the last 10 years 1, 2, 3, 4, one failed warning. So we have to see what price does. I showed you statistics about the triple witching last week, and what we had is 28 26 out of 30 times where it was bearish, 2 out of those 4 which were bullish were very neutral. So essentially it was 2 out of the last 30 years where we've had a bullish week, over the last week that we had, the week after triple witching in the second quarter. So what we have is an anomaly this week as well. The previous week we got a 3% move up on the SPX. So that is a one twice in 30-year move, guys. That's the kind of anomaly, and it's so much to do with the Fed. There's just so much liquidity in the market. Every time the market is finding ways and looking for ways to be getting that correction, price is just squeezing them out. But what we have now is, it's just a dangerous territory. I wouldn't want to be overexposed to these markets, and I'm more than happy to currently be on the sideline for any midterm or short-term moves for potential upside, because even for the downside, guys, it's pretty hard to bet when the market has so much liquidity. I don't see, where the risk-reward ratio for such a thing is. But what we do have is, what I'm personally waiting for is that potential correction to get more long-term positions in. So until that happens, we have more and more statistics that continue to suggest that at some point this correction has to come, but we just have to allow it to play out. And other than that, if you're looking at lower time frames, then they are still selective plays, and there is plenty of volatility in the market. You ask me where is the opportunity, we can see it in a lot of these sectors that got beaten down along with crypto. You can see a lot of them are performing well. Since I mentioned it in a review before, IPOs have been doing well. ARK has been moving back up. It's back at resistance now, 30% from the lows. IPOs are about 25% of the lows. Biotech as well. It's been had a couple of last week was decent for biotech as well. So a lot of things that had been beaten down have been giving some kind of results. Of course, a big bag that I hold is Virgin Galactic, which has really moved well. If you've been in the Discord for long, I know there's a few other lads in there that have that along space as well. So that's been absolutely smashing it with the recent announcement that they will get to take passengers into space. So some good news over there. Outside of that, you can see, if you take everything else in consideration, BTC has been underperforming even the other sectors that kind of moved down with crypto, and the ones that had outperformed over the last 12 to 14 months. So this is where we had certain opportunities in the traditional markets as well. Commodities, on a broad scale basis, they've had that correction. Last week I showed you that we are potentially moving towards what could be support on quite a few names across the board. So they are basing it at support. Most commodities, some of them like platinum, have had good reactions. But outside of that, the outlier has been oil. We spoke about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. So price has still been bullish, now heading right into very significant resistance. And this is what I spoke about last time, that once we do flip this, it could be that price starts trading in a new range altogether for oil. But so very significant in terms of everything macro for oil, that we are out of this, and we are also out of this momentum move. So this momentum that price has been holding price this momentum that's been holding price down since 2008, we just broke up, tested it as support, and we've broken out of it. So very, very significant, and in terms of the inflationary impact that this can have on the world. And this essentially, the rising price of oil could force the Fed into printing more, and in terms of that, just have mass inflation, a lot of repricing against the dollar if this happens. So so significant, this chart, and just the fact that, while the rest of the commodities market was consolidating, oil is just still blazing up. Very, very interesting level, and that is why I am mentioning it this week, because I really want to see what price does over here. I don't think we can go straight up, on the first test, but you never know. It's really on a tear, very shallow retraces. So let's see what happens with oil. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and go ahead and share it with someone else. And if you have any questions about what we covered today, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you or answer them in my next video. For more trading content and education, go ahead and click on the video on your right. Thanks for watching, guys, and cheers!